I have my Bible open to Revelation chapter 22. So here we are, last book of the Bible, last chapter of the Bible. And I must confess to you, seems like every time I find myself in this particular chapter, the end of all chapters, that I just kind of find myself feeling like that winning football coach who all of a sudden finds himself being drenched in this ice cold bucket of Gatorade, wide-eyed, heart racing and pounding. I just find myself reading here in Revelation chapter 22 a 4-word sentence that I tell you, it is, they capture my heart and catch my attention. They're just 4 words, but 3 times, rapid fire, one right after another, red letters, a 4-word sentence, 3 times that Jesus says in the very last chapter of the very last book. 4 words, that's it, 4 words, but powerfully laced. I'm just going to share these with you. Perhaps you're going to feel like me too, where your pulse begins to race and just wide-eyed, you just read these. Revelation chapter 22. And on 3 times, one right after another, Jesus in red letters makes this promise. First one is right here in verse 7, where Jesus says, "Behold, I am coming quickly." Then you just go another few more verses. You come to verse 12. The exact same thing. Jesus says, "Behold," and then the 4 words, "I am coming quickly." And then you come down all the way to the next last verse in all of Scripture. This is now Revelation chapter 22 and verse 20, where Jesus says, "Surely," and then the 4 words, "I am coming quickly." It's as if Jesus is just wanting to be absolutely certain that we don't miss the point that he's trying to make. Last book of the Bible, last chapter in the Bible, last page in Scriptures, and 3 times, rapid fire, Jesus says, "I am coming quickly, I am coming quickly, I am coming quickly." I tell you what, my friends, having had the opportunity to meditate on the meaning of these 4-word sentences and the implications that they have in my life, I have come to the conclusion that there is nothing that I want more in my life than to intentionally choose to live my life with the words of Jesus ringing in my ears, "I am coming quickly." Because you see, they're his words. They're not mine, they're his words. I mean, Revelation chapter 22, these are in red letters. These are his words. And in fact, I find it also fascinating that Revelation is bookmarked. So in the last chapter, you have Jesus saying, "I'm coming quickly." But when you go to the opening salvo, the very first sentence in Revelation chapter 1, verse 1, it starts with 5 words in the English. The revelation of Jesus Christ. In the Greek, it's just 3 words. Apocalypsis Jesu Christou, which literally means the revelation, the revealing, the unveiling of Jesus Christ. And you see, in verse 1, it also says, the revelation of Jesus Christ of things which must take place quickly or shortly. So that's what you have in the opening salvo of Revelation. The revelation of Jesus Christ of things which must take place quickly. Then you come to the very last chapter, and 3 times Jesus says, "I'm coming quickly, I'm coming quickly, and I'm coming quickly." You see, my friends, I would suggest to you that there has never been a more critical time for us to intentionally choose to live our lives than right now in this I am coming quickly mode. I mean, please. I mean, just consider how rapidly this world has changed, literally overnight. Overnight. I mean, you and I have watched and witnessed with our own eyes. I mean, global changes that have literally shattered history's headlines forever. I mean, you can just feel it in the air. You can sense it in the times. Something's going on. Something is going on. And then you come to Revelation chapter 22 and you just read 3 times Jesus says, I'm coming quickly. Something's going on. You see, I would suggest to you that our generation of Adventists, well, let me put it this way, out of all the generations who have ever lived, it is our generation, this generation, who must intentionally choose to live our lives and raise our families in this I am coming quickly mode. And so I have a little challenge for you here today. It's a challenge that I have embraced myself. So I'm not going to challenge you something that I'm not willing to partake in myself. But what I want to challenge you to do is to blow the dust off of 2 apocalyptic bombshells and read them. A fresh new reading for us, this generation who is living in this I am coming quickly mode. 2 apocalyptic bombshells. Probably is not going to come as a surprise to you, but the very first apocalyptic bombshell that I would suggest to you is this black book that I hold in my hands, the Bible. This is the first one. The second apocalyptic bombshell is this black book. This book is entitled The Great Controversy. So my challenge for you, my challenge for our generation is to take these 2 books with fresh eyes, eager anticipation, to try to sense and see again, how is it that we should live in this I am coming quickly mode. I just want to share, just in this little conclusion here, a story that I just love this story. It's a story about Robbie. Robbie's Air Force pilot. And the story goes like this. So he had been sent to Iraq as an Air Force pilot. Tour of duty. He had fulfilled it, and the war was about ready to end, and suddenly he received orders. Hey, look, the war's almost over, you're going home. In fact, it happened so quickly there at the end, he didn't even have time to notify his family. And so he's on the plane, flying back to the United States, and he is so excited because he can hardly wait of what that moment was going to be like when he was going to surprise his family. They have no clue that he's coming. No one has notified him. They have no idea. So they land in the United States, Massachusetts, drives across a couple of other states through the night. He and a couple of his buddies, they arrive in Robbie's hometown in the morning, starting to recognize familiar streets. Finally, they're on his street, his home where he lives. Pull up in front of that driveway. And as they stop in front of the house, Robbie looks out and he sees on the front lawn, there is this huge, gigantic banner. And the banner reads, "Welcome home, Daddy." Robbie's thinking to himself, good night. How did they know? I mean, he hasn't told anybody. Nobody else has ever sent him. How did they know? So I want you to listen to what happens next in Robbie's own words. This is what he says. He says, when I walked into the house, the kids, about half dressed for school, screamed, "Daddy, Daddy." My wife Susan came running down the hall. She looked terrific. Hair fixed, makeup on, wearing a crisp yellow dress. "How did you know?" I asked. I mean, how did you know? "I didn't," she said through her tears of joy. "I didn't. But once we knew the war was almost over, we knew you would be home one of these days, and we knew you'd try to surprise us. So we decided to be ready every single day." Oh, I love that story. We decided to be ready every single day. Let me tell you something, my friends. The war is almost over. The war is almost over. So then, how shall we live in that reality of "I am coming quickly"? What do you say we choose to live our lives to where we are ready every single day?